just a quick little bonus for you guys. People always ask me when they see my collection on social media how I keep all my cars looking so new that none of them even look used and they look brand new. Um, that's not true. They get quite a bit of abuse. However, every time I do some maintenance, I wash my car, and I'll tell you guys how I do it. I start with just a toothbrush like this and some dish soap. In this case, it's Dawn Platinum. There's also a power wash spray, which is pretty good. Sometimes I have that, sometimes I have this. Just depends on what's on sale when I go grocery shopping. So I clean the whole car with that. And I'm careful to avoid the fan, especially. Now my servos are typically aftermarket AGFRCs, which are IP67 waterproof, so I don't worry about getting the servo wet. And the ESCs are at least splash proof, so I just don't run water down over the top of them. So I just get out the little toothbrush and some hot water and some Dawn over there in my kitchen sink, and I get to scrub it. And then I let it dry for just a little bit, get the big water off, and then I hit it with the blow dryer on low, just to keep it, keep it away from the plastic, keep the plastic from melting, but also mostly get inside like the screw heads, make sure they don't rust, because like carbon steel will rust. So I try to dry it, usually like within an hour after I wash it. And then after I'm done doing that, and it's fully dry, I basically give it a bath in this stuff right here. WD Specialist Silicone, quick dry silicone lubricant. I just spray the whole damn thing, flip it over, spray it. It's dripping wet. Then I'll lay it on this towel here, or any towel I guess. Let it soak in for maybe an hour or two. And then I just grab a paper towel and I just wipe over the big spots. Try to get, if I see any like drips of silicone spray or whatnot, just kind of wipe them off. Get the big stuff, go over the whole car with a paper towel, the sides, just to keep it from being soaking wet. Especially things like the battery tray and stuff like that take forever to dry. But once you get most of the big stuff off, it doesn't have to be completely dry. It's fine if it's still a little bit wet. I'll let it sit overnight. Now, you don't want to do this right before you go out, obviously, because everything will stick to it. But if you let this dry for 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours overnight, go to bed, when you get up in the morning, this plastic is going to absorb all of that silicone. And it's going to be re-moisturized, but not wet. And it's going to remain flexible, and it covers up a lot of the scuffs and stuff. I mean, if you look at it, all the scuffs are still there, clearly. But once you have all that silicone embedded in there, it looks really nice. From like 3 feet away, you can't tell that this car has been used at all. In fact, it looks nicer than it did new when it came out of the box, because some of the plastic's already dry and turning gray. This makes everything nice and black, and even the gray is almost black. And it'll stay this way. It'll look kind of wet, even after it's dry, but it won't be wet. And next time you go to clean it, it'll be much easier to get the dirt and sand and dust off of it, because it's sitting on top of the silicone and not directly embedded into the plastic. And so I do this. I don't do it every time I go out with the car, obviously. It's a lot of work. But every time I'm going to do any kind of major maintenance, I absolutely do this. And especially when I'm getting ready to get inside these diffs and change out the gears, I don't want any dust or sand or any type of debris to get in my gearbox, because even just a small tiny piece of sand will destroy everything in there. I mean, it's plastic, right? I'm putting the plastic gears back in. Plastic plus a little bit of grease is basically a sand paste, and it will destroy everything before you know it. So if I'm getting inside a gearbox, I'm definitely going through this process beforehand. But every time I do any major maintenance, shock oil, diff fluids, or just checking bearings and stuff, I go ahead and I clean it. So like I said, I don't do it every single time. I take the car out, just knock the big shit off most of the time. But every time I'm doing any kind of maintenance or repair, I do this. So that means, because I break shit all the time, I'm really good at breaking stuff. I'm really good at keeping my car looking fresh, because every time I break it, I clean it. And so at least once a month, they get a complete refresh and look brand new again. So we'll let this dry overnight, and we'll go ahead and change out the gears in the morning.